And I think that that information is so incredibly valuable. And just being a part of the association is so incredibly valuable because whatever the timeline the person is operating on, there's that comfort in knowing that they're not alone, right? That you have groups like OOIDA, the OOIDA Foundation, even trucktractortrailer.com presenting about, should you purchase new, should you purchase old? It's about knowing that there's a community out there. So you might be on the road in a cab by yourself, but there's this fantastic network that is supporting you, throughout your entire career.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Stream, a trucktractortrailer.com production. My name is Zach Miller. I'm your host, and I'm really excited today to be joined. Today's guest is going to be the third member of the Owner-Operator Independent Driver Association's executive team to join the podcast. We're honored to be joined by Andrew King, who is a research analyst with the OOIDA Foundation, and we are going to be talking about the outstanding event that the foundation puts on every single year called the Truck to Success program. It takes place late October, and this year it's going to take place October 25th to 27th. Andrew, welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a joy to be with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into this, because this is really, I think this is one of the premier events for those who are either veteran owner operators or new owner operators. I think there's so much value for anybody on that independent driver spectrum to join this event and get so much out of it.
Absolutely. And actually, every year we do this, we have people across that spectrum, just as you're talking about. We'll have company drivers, we'll have those who are leased on, and then we have some even that are owner operators under their own authority. And then there's sometimes we even have people who are just maybe dispatchers or some other part of the industry, and they're interested in learning more about what's involved with owning your own business, being your own motor carrier. And so we kind of, with that in mind, is how we've designed the program to go from someone who is a company driver wanting to become an owner operator, making that step to become a leased on, and then finally to be an owner operator under their own authority.
So, and let me ask you this though, because it really is a fascinating spectrum. Have you noticed that there really is that sort of sweet spot where maybe somebody they're in dispatch, but they're thinking of owner operator, or they're under someone else's authority, but they're thinking about it? Do you see this event when you're in the room, when you see the people respond to the presentations? Do you kind of see those, and puns are always intended on stream, do you see those wheels turning in their head about how it's just like, oh, I can do this. It went from like sort of that dream to reality for them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's that, and there's the opposite of, well, maybe I'm not ready for this. But that always happens, it seems like. I've been asked a couple of times of, well, what's the success rate of the seminar? And that's really a difficult question to answer, because success is different for everybody. And I remember one of the first times we had this seminar, we had an individual, and his desire was, and he was a company driver. He says, I don't want to just be a leased on owner operator. I want to have my own authority, and I actually want to have a small fleet. I want to have 2 or 3 trucks. By day 2, that changed to, maybe I'm just going to be on my own, and I'm just going to be have my own operating authority. And then by day 3, it's maybe I'm just going to be leased on instead of doing that. And so there was kind of a progression for them of realizing, and the big thing for him was not that this was impossible. He still had the goal to become a fleet owner. It was just changing the time scale that he had set for himself of, okay, I need a little bit more experience before I take these next steps. But I definitely see people having that aha moment as they gain understanding of, yes, this is possible, and better understanding of how to do it. And in some cases, it's even, okay, I need to wait a little bit longer before I take that next step.
And I think that that information is so incredibly valuable, and just being a part of the association is so incredibly valuable, because whatever the timeline the person is operating on, there's that comfort in knowing that they're not alone, right? That you have groups like OOIDA, the OOIDA Foundation, even trucktractortrailer.com presenting about, should you purchase new, should you purchase old? It's about knowing that there's a community out there. So you might be on the road in a cab by yourself, but there's this fantastic network that is supporting you, throughout your entire career.
Absolutely. And, some people here, the thing is, the reason why we do this, in part, is because the failure rate for someone entering into the industry of becoming their own operator is kind of high. In the first year, it's 25%. By the second year, 30% have failed. And by the fifth year, 60% of all new businesses have failed in trucking. And so that's obviously that's not what we want to have happen. And so we want to be real with those who are coming and participating, but also to show them the resources that could be available to them, like from TTT, but also we have a guy coming in who focuses mainly on the tax aspect and business entity structure. And then, of course, we all pre-pass and DAT come and they share. But then you also have what OOIDA offers and their vast experience. I mean, you have people who have been doing this for a long time, who used to be truckers themselves in many instances. And you can rely upon these sources to become successful so that hopefully they're not failing, and they realize what exactly it means to succeed.
That's exactly it. That's why it's such a brilliantly named program. And that's why I'm so glad you have that sort of comprehensive, from tolling to fuel cards to insurance to finance, whatever. It's just, it is that difference where if the company is handling all that stuff and you're just worried about your pay per mile, it's completely different than when you have to worry about everything. Oh, and also your pay per mile.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, you wear all the hats. If you're taking this step, you are everything. You're the driver, you're the owner. And some people get these big eyes when they start to realize, especially on the second day. By the second day, people start to realize, wow, there is so much. And even for like a leased on owner operator who might have kind of some gripes or complaints about the carrier they're leased onto and all these things that they require, they start to realize, oh, this is why they're doing that, because they're required by law, by regulation, to do these things, and it's not always so enjoyable.
Have you seen an uptick in attendance of families, either husband and wife or father son, things like that, to sort of build the business together, or it's usually just one person is going to attend?
It's I would say it's kind of been level. There's always in every seminar that we do, there's going to be some teams of husband and wife. And in fact, there's been a couple of times where there's been two couples that came together, to build their business together. And so or even I've seen a father and son, and mother and son. So there is a family affair a lot of times. For those who are looking to become their own motor carrier, usually they recognize they need a little help. They can't do everything. They need someone to do the back office. And so sometimes we have people coming just for the sake of having their spouse see all the things that they might be required to watch over and take care of. And so that's always interesting to see as well.
That's incredible. I guess just lastly, because this event is hosted specifically by the foundation, what is the foundation's mission? And if somebody is interested in learning more about the foundation, maybe contributing, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the foundation was started to fight for the rights of all truckers through research and education. So OOIDA's mission statement is just fighting for the rights of all truckers. The foundation adds the research and education. And so we do a lot of things for our members, and that is a lot has to do with just surveying them, knowing where they are, what's going on right now in the industry. That's one thing I think that makes OOIDA very unique, is that we're getting the driver and the owner operator perspective in things, and not just the safety manager or that CEO like others are. So we kind of get that ground level information, and we use that to help fight for the rights of our members, and not just our members, but all truck drivers in general. And so if there's people watching this and they want to take part, hopefully they're a member. But if they're not, I would recommend to sign up. It's very cheap. It's only $45 for a whole year, but you will get the opportunity to respond to those surveys or to call in and to give your information of things that you're seeing on the road. And that's what we use when we go to Capitol Hill to fight for their rights. And that's what makes us so unique, is that we advocate for the driver, but we also educate, which is what this seminar is meant to do, of how to be successful, what are the pitfalls to avoid, and what are some of those tools that can make you successful.
Absolutely. And let me just add here that the mission is important, but there are results too. I have heard some of Secretary Buttigieg, some of his talking points come directly from some of OOIDA's talking points, and that's coming from the drivers themselves. It has an impact. It really does.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Andrew, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for the work you do putting this program together. Please, if you're an owner operator, you're thinking about it, small fleet, please attend this seminar. October 25th to 27th. All the information is below. If you like the content you see, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time on stream.